So, if I were to give you any tips on creativity, it would be this. Do everything that you can to make yourself interested in the world. Go live a full life and experience as much as you can. Expose yourself to the world, to the real world. Be on your own terms. Never be scared of putting yourself in a new situation. Be independent and connect with people of the same mindset. Also, find people that are different from you and get to know them. Get to understand how they have been shaping their opinions and their worldview. And the only reason that we tend to keep ourselves in our own cocoon is because we're so afraid of getting outside of our comfort zone and really experiencing something that is not familiar to us. Getting to know something that might harbor the potential of being a traumatic experience. We think that if we protect ourselves, we can be fine. But it's the opposite. Anything that you're gonna do is gonna be, there's gonna be a level of trauma inside of it because it's something new. It's gonna shock your brain and you're gonna be changed as a consequence of that. And just because you're thinking that this might bring trauma to you doesn't mean that you need to actually avoid it. Because if anything, we know that trauma makes people more creative. I am speaking from experience, and I know that whenever I had a period of traumatic sort of experience, after that period, my creativity all of a sudden just awakens. And I know why it was. It was because I was feeling a surge of emotion and I wanted to express it in a way. And the only form that I could find to express that feeling was art. And so I became much more interested in art and it made me a better artist, I guess. But I'm not saying like you have to traumatize yourself so that you can become creative. No, that's not the takeaway. I would not encourage anyone to traumatize themselves or, put themselves in a situation that is full of trauma. What I am encouraging here is to not be afraid of trauma, to not feel the fear toward new things just because you think that it's going to hurt you. Get outside of your comfort zone because if it leads to something joyful, then it's just like gonna make you creative. And if it's gonna lead to something traumatic, then it also is gonna make you creative. You're gonna win either way. It's better than doing nothing. It's better than sitting inside of your comfort zone. And there's a very beautiful quote. It's from Oscar Wilde that I would love to read it every single day. And it says, "To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people exist. That is all." And I love this quote. It's also from Oscar Wilde, which says, live the wonderful life that is in you. Let nothing be lost upon you. Be always searching for new sensations. Be afraid of nothing." And I think that really sums up everything that I was talking about up until this point. And I love the fact that it encourages us to feel more, to do more, and to go out there and live a life that is inside of us and it exists and we can bring that on. It is so encouraging because we know for a fact that there are so many person inside of us. We just need to bring the best person out of us, and that's what it is. Live the wonderful life that is in you. Let nothing be lost upon you. Be always searching for new sensations. Be afraid of nothing. In order to become creative, you need to have a wide range of experience. And that is only possible if you are interested in so many lanes of knowledge. If you're interested in art and also in science. If you're interested in philosophy and also in psychology. If you're combining all of your knowledge, both theoretical and practical, and combining them together to generate new ideas. An example for drawing would be drawing from multiple references. And what do I mean by that? I mean, for example, when you're trying to draw a portrait and you find a reference for that portrait, go find something else for the color that that portrait should be inspired by, like the color palette that you can draw from another picture. And you can also see something else that represents the texture that you want to implement in that that drawing. And it's like there's infinite ways that you can combine things so that you're gonna achieve a unique look in your drawing. So to actually combine what we were talking about in the beginning and what I just said right now, we can decide that in order to become creative, we need to have variety in both macro level, which we were talking about in the beginning, and also in the micro scale. When you're drawing something and you want to draw it from a reference, you can choose multiple references in order to achieve a better look. And also there's something else that is really interesting. So we as artists, we want to come up with our own art style a bit. It's not a very easy task to do. We have to practice a lot, we have to study a lot, but something that we actually avoid doing is copying other artists' drawing. And we have been avoiding that because we think that it's just plagiarism, it's something very immoral. It's like that's a very shameful act because you're just trying to copy them. I think the opposite of that, because when you're trying to copy some artist, you're not actually doing the same thing. You're adding an element of yourself to it. And also, you should find various works to copy so that your style is going to be a combination of those styles. It's like you're curating something that is far more than the sum of all the parts. I don't exactly remember how the phrase went, but I am trying to actually say that whenever you combine two things together, the effect of that combination is far greater than the sum of the parts, if you know what I mean. You as a creator, you are just a curator. And as a human being, we often look at people around us and borrow things that interest us because we are constantly absorbing things and trying to make sense of our world. And so we might have learned the way we speak from the media that we listen to, the way we use our hands when we are speaking from all the speakers that we've listened to, and the way we actually make our facial expression. Sometimes I find myself making facial expressions that I've seen before. And believe it or not, I am really aware of the fact that I am the combination of all the things that I've seen in my life, and I don't really feel original at all. Like anything that I point to, there is always somewhere that I have taken that from. And so whenever you do this, you're not aware of it. You pick it up really by default. It's just a human nature. But at the end, if you look at yourself, you know that everything that you're doing right now, everything has been coming to you from the world around you. And you've been curating these sort of tiny micro habits that in a very big picture really shows a very new and novel identity. And so everything that you do is not original in the micro level, but in the macro level, it's going to be original. You are making an original piece if you're actually taking the parts from somewhere else. It's like you're never gonna make something out of your brain. We're only the connectors. We connect dots together, and that's how unique we are. That's how our work can become a unique piece of work, and that's the beauty of it. We're just playing around with everything that we come across, and we can use it in any place that we want to, and it's just gonna make us richer in our ideas, and it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. The world is beautiful because you come across things that might not be related to your area of expertise, but at the end, it's all going to be working toward that area of expertise. You just need to expose yourself to as many different things as possible, and also expose yourself to as many different great minds as possible. Reading biography is going to help you understand how to conduct your life as well. You will become some sort of combination of all the great minds because you're reading a lot of biography and autobiographies or biographies. They are just incredible in helping you to find your own way as well, because you're now curating every bits and pieces of the world and trying to make sense of it in your own lens as well. And that makes it much more interesting. And there's a quote from Steve Jobs that I will actually play it right now.
It comes down to trying to expose yourself to the best things that humans have done, and then try to bring those things in to what you're doing. I mean, Picasso had a saying, he said, good artists copy, great artists steal. And we have, you know, always been shameless about stealing great ideas. And I think part of what made the Macintosh great was that the people working on it were musicians and poets and artists and zoologists and historians who also happen to be the best computer scientists in the world.
It's something that really common, and we all say that you are the combination of the 5 people around you, and I think that really sums it up nicely. We're all copycats of everything that we are surrounding ourselves with. I was listening to the author of Steal Like an Artist, and he said, you're a mashup of what you let into your life. That's really nice. So taking inspiration is vital in your creative task. And also there's also something else that I want to quickly touch on, which is the idea of slow multitasking. And I've heard it from some TikToker that said you will become more creative if you're going back and forth between 2 areas. Like, for example, you obsess over something for 1 year and the other year is something else. Like, you shift your focus from one to another. These back and forth sort of movement that is happening is going to reinforce your creativity, and you're gonna have a broader knowledge in both of those areas. And I guess I can't really talk about every ways that makes you creative in one video, but like those 2 points are really valid, and it makes you much more creative if you actually put them to practice. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you actually learned something from it. And if you're feeling generous, you can drop your own tips for creativity in the comments. Thank you.